Delivers again for Manchester City. Another winning goal from the best DM in the Premier League, maybe even the best in world football. A clutch moment from him, rescuing City from what would have been an embarrassing draw from a game that they dominated so much. A game where they had, when they scored their goal, that was their 23rd shot versus 0 from Sheffield United. And look, there was a bit of squeaky bum time for a few minutes there for City, but this is why they're treble winners. This is why they're champions. This is why they're on for a 4-peat. The only 100% record left in the Premier League, 3 games in. That's 6 goals for them now this campaign, only 1 conceded. One of the best goal-scoring records, the best defensive record, the most amount of points, the most amount of wins already. And those clutch moments continue to come. It's why, at this point, you cannot look beyond Man City as your title favourites, in my personal opinion. And we all know they start, when I say start slowly, I don't even mean the accumulation of points winning games. They're not at their scintillating best, this City side. They're really not. They're struggling to get the right balls, in my opinion, into Erling Haaland. He's having very few touches of the ball. They don't look at their most fluid best, Man City, but that is why they are dangerous, scary, and the favourites, because we know what's to come. We know how good they are going to get this season. I can't see them not going up another gear or 2. And even in like first gear, they're still the best team in the Premier League. Haaland with another goal. And listen, not his best game, not his best performance, but he's not there to be the best football player in the world in terms of that technical ability, the creative edge. That's not him. He's a goal scorer. And he is the best goal scorer in world football, in my opinion, right now. And he demonstrated that today. If you consistently create him the chances and the opportunities, he'll score. And the first real clean-cut chance, we had 2 probably clean-cut chances. One hit his shin, went wide a little bit earlier, and then the header, absolutely top class indeed. It really, really was. Sheffield United, they got themselves back into it. Really poor mistake from Kyle Walker. I don't really know what he was thinking. Excellent shot, really good goal. But almost the blood rushed to their heads a little bit. And to go and concede within 4 minutes, they'll be very disappointed with that, especially with, I'm not too sure of the left-back's name. He was trying to kind of shadow the ball out, and he went to fall. Kyle Walker didn't make contact with him. He looks really silly. He should have stayed on his feet. It would have been a throw into Sheffield United, and who knows what the score would be right now. But overall, look, Man City deserved the win. Without a shadow of a doubt, they deserve to win that game. I don't think anybody can make an argument in the other direction. We're all as rivals of Man City, especially people that watch, support a top 6 team. We were all hoping and we were all praying they would drop points and it would make the season, more exciting. But as I just look at the stats here, 30 shots to 6. It's crazy. And do you know what's mad? All 6 of their shots came after they conceded. That is absolutely crazy. They didn't even, they weren't even trying. They were trying up until that point, and then they attacked a little bit. But look, the league table, as you can see, we don't take too much notice of it this early, but we will have a look at it. 9 points. I mean, the thing is, only 3 points separates 1st and 7th. Now, with Man United sitting in 7th on 6 points, joint with Brighton and Villa, you have Arsenal, Spurs, and West Ham on 7 points each, and City sit there on 9 points. And the reason why you can't really start taking it seriously until 10 games isn't just because it's early in the season, but it's about who you play. Have you had any tough away games yet against fellow top 6 opponents? Who have you played at home? What tough games have you had? What easier games have you had? And normally within the 10-game period, you have typically had some tough away games and some easy games mixing together, and it gives us an idea of who the best teams are. But City setting the stall out early this season. Super chat here. City will run away. Arsenal focus on the FA Cup is what Sully says here. Look, City could run away with the league. They've done it before, but I wouldn't say. Listen, I don't think so. I think fan bases are really panicking at the minute. Chelsea aren't ready. Liverpool aren't ready. Newcastle and Villa and Brighton don't have the staying power. Man United look awful. Arsenal haven't quite started. Listen, I'm not going to write. City are my favourites to win. but I'm not writing the season off after 3 games. In terms of the ups and downs, if the buts, the maybes, the snakes and ladders that happens within a league campaign, we can't do that, in my opinion. Let's have a little look here. Sheffield bottled it a little bit, but a little bit. Terry, no team is going to beat City this season in the Prem. Listen, I was actually thinking about that during the game. I was looking at it, and 2 trains of thought I had was, one, could they go invincible? Could City go invincible this season? Genuine question to all of you watching. Could Man City go invincible this season? I don't see any reason why they can't. Liverpool away is always a hard game for them. Spurs away. Man United away. Those 3 away games, you could maybe throw Newcastle into it, but they're the 3 away games where in the Pep era, they've come unstuck the most. Just through my memory, and some of you watching may throw another statistic out there I'm not aware of, but they could go invincible. Do they look impenetrable? No. Do they look beatable? Yes. But they're in first gear, and they're going to get better. The only way they're going to not go invincible is if they get beaten in this opening 10 to 12 games. I think if City get to a point 15 plus games into a season, maybe 1 or 2 of their toughest games out the way, they could definitely do it. Can you imagine if they do a 4-peat with a treble in the middle of that? Already even completed a domestic treble. Then they went invincible. There would be no argument that this is the greatest English football team of all time. And you will literally have Liverpool and Arsenal and United fans all collectively screaming for them to lose for one record or another. But it is plausible. It is doable for this Man City team. And maybe they need to set themselves that type of target to motivate themselves. Not just winning the title, but winning the title with distinction. Adding a record to it that, yes, has been done before, but maybe they can do it better. Maybe they can go invincible, but win more games, get more points. Maybe they can go invincible and add other trophies to that. That would surpass what Arsenal did in some people's eyes. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are below, people. Let me know. That would be great for English football. Look, people talk about it as being a farmers league. It's that we're trying to redefine the farmers league phrase. Farmers league means the quality of teams outside your top 2 or 3 are awful. That is not the Premier League. Anyone on Sky or BT or TNT, it's called now, TalkSport, anybody wants to argue that, get me on your shows and I will debate you into the ground on that. We're not redefining what farmers league means. Farmers league means lack of quality. The Premier League has an abundance of quality in it, from top to bottom. It's just the number 1 team in England right now are just the best team in the world and maybe have been developed into the greatest English team of all time. Arguably, this is what they do this year in the Champions League. This City team, and I was talking about this with Lee Gunner last year and you all laughed at me. This City team could end up going down as one of the greatest footballing teams of all time. Maybe not stylistically the best in everybody's eyes, but that's what's overrated. Trophies is what matters most when it comes to the team. If they end up doing a 4-peat, then they went retaining their Champions League at the same time. Unprecedented in the modern day era. It really, really is. This City team looks great. And there were some mistakes today. And I was thinking, should Foden have started the game? I think so. I think he deserved to start the game after his last performance. And he looked really good when he came on. They've still got Stones to come back into this side. They've still got Doku to get integrated into this team. And they might also still be adding another midfielder in the likes of Matheus Nunes. Maybe even someone like an Eze. So there's more firepower to come in. There's levels for this team to go up. Were they perfect today? Absolutely not. Are there weaknesses that we can pull on and go, that could become a problem later on in the season? We can talk about it, but I don't think it is right now. I don't see any real weaknesses in this City team. I really don't. They're going to be so hard. Anyone who beats them to a trophy this year deserves massive, massive praise indeed. Can we talk about that penalty? Why is it a penalty and Man United one was not? Well, I tweeted about this and I stand by it. If today's penalty is a penalty, Man United should have been given. It's an what I find very interesting about this is, listen, City, this is not a dig at you getting a penalty. I don't think it's corruption. I don't think you're paying the referees. I don't I don't subscribe to that real basic level banter. It's just, you can't do it. My dad would disown me and no woman would ever talk to me again. You know, it's one of them ones. But this nonsense of clear and obvious error needs to go. It's an abomination. They need to set a standard. There needs to be a decision that's almost a flag bearer. So if this is handball, yes, his arm was, you could argue, kind of above head height, but he's sliding in. Your arms go up when you slide. But it was close proximity, very similar to that of Romero. If this one is given, and then next week there's a similar one to Romero's, they just have to give it based on what they've already given that season. There should be a body of work of what's been awarded or given as a turnover, and then they strive to make consistent decisions. Not, well, actually, we gave one, because if the referee didn't give that as handball, they may not have overturned it still. So what is it, a penalty or not? There needs to be a consistency of what is and is not a penalty based on a body of work of what is awarded. And then you overturn decisions to create consistency, as opposed to saying, well, we think he's got it wrong, but he's only marginally got it wrong. Because it's only a marginal mistake, we're not going to overturn it. This is why we get inconsistency everywhere. So, yeah, look, some people think they're penalties. I'm not a big fan of the law. But in the space of a week, you've had identical styles of handballs, one given, one not. I've been calling it out for a while. Something's got to be done about it. Now, this is not a dig at City. I know some of you City fans are like, oh, he's moaning about us. It's not about you. It's about consistency, because you'll get done for it as well soon. Like, it'll go against you as well. So we all want consistency, I think. Where would you rank Foden in the world at the moment? Look, it's a hard one in terms of the world. I don't have a number for it. I think he's one of the best young players in England. I think that he is as good as anybody within his age range in the Premier League. I am frustrated as an Englishman that he is not getting more game time in a consistent position at City. I want him to get that, but I think he's class. Sorry, Terry, but low blow or legal punch? 100% a legal punch. It hit the belt line, but if you look, those shorts were pulled up higher. All boxers do it. It was literally like slightly below the belly button. And you're allowed to punch there in boxing. It was a legal blow. Dubois, in my opinion, is the world champion right now, not Usyk. And Usyk, I rate Usyk. I think is brilliant, but he lost that fight. He was done. But he's demonstrated a massive weakness. And I'm telling you this now, Tyson Fury is going to destroy him, because Tyson Fury is bigger and stronger and hits harder than Dubois. Maybe not concussive power, but he certainly has more power over a course of time. So when he can maintain his level of power longer, better stamina. And if Tyson Fury is punching him in that stomach, and you haven't got home cooking referees, he's done. But yeah, it was a knockout for me. Terry, you're wrong. Left arm versus right arm penalty. Yeah, it was different because it was the different arms. I hear what you're saying. Haaland should have had 2 penalties. 2 people wrestled him down. What is a natural position for hands in a cross behind your back? We want consistency. Absolutely. I hate this idea that defenders have to put their hands behind their backs. It makes no sense. It makes you off balance. It gives attackers the advantage, which is wrong. Equally, those type of handballs, if a player makes them in the attack, as long as they don't score a goal and they only assist, it's legal. Make that make sense. In terms of the pens for Haaland, no, I don't think they were. Both of them were what I call 6 of one and half a dozen of another. They were both grabbing and pulling each other around. They were both being physical. And I've always had this long-standing rule. I think none of that should ever be a penalty. It should just be fair game. Rip each other's shirts off. The strongest person wins. That way, you'd create consistency at least. What I will say, though, you will see penalties given for that. And not today, but I didn't think there were penalties personally, in my opinion. He doesn't play because he isn't Silva or Grealish. It's just what it is. He also doesn't get started by Southgate either. No, I hear you. I actually think there's more overall talent in Foden than there is Jack Grealish. I think Foden has more output. Grealish is probably slightly better technically. And to beat a man, there's very few players in the world better than Grealish. But the outputs, Foden for me, if you play them, if you put both of them in the same position, in the same, if Foden played every game this season that Grealish plays and vice versa, Foden will get 2 to 3 times the GA, which is very, very important. Now, the lack of GA from Grealish, and we got an assist today, is often masked by the higher GA of other players in that City team. So you don't need him to be a creative monster or a high goal scoring player because other individuals have kind of picked that slack up. But that's the one thing about Foden I rate highly is his output. And for attacking players, output is key. Hamza's here with us now to have his say on that game, mate. A close call, but City get the job done again.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very nervous. Oh my God. I think first day I start. City played very well. We had the possession. I think after being given the first penalty and we missed it, the referee, I think they were poor, like in terms of like they were just holding down Haaland, and I think the referee was scared to give the second penalty. And I think Sheffield United were very lucky. In a European night, that's definitely given us a penalty. They don't care whether they give twice or 3 times or 4 times. But in the Premier League, they're very hesitant because they're scared to annoy other rival fans so much. So he wasn't given a penalty for being tagged down and dragged down. Like, you can't do that in football. I'm sorry to say that. So coming to the second half, we scored our goal. A fantastic performance. Players like Kovacic were impressive. Gvardiol, absolutely fantastic signing. He was so composed on the ball. Like every time they tried to pressurize us, we just had them up. They couldn't get the ball off us. We were just outplaying them. When the goal came at last, we had that. And we just, in the Premier League, you need at least to score your second to kill the game off. And when you can't kill the game off, it then leaves other people. They can come back and score that equalizer goal. And I think, the mistake. Terry, you just don't do that mistake. You don't backheel in a penalty box. Even in basic football, even in a five-a-side, I'll get so annoyed. How do you do that? You can't do that. In 4 minutes to go and no, you can't do that. That's basic in football. Like, Kyle Walker was very lucky we got away with that. But fantastic again by Rodri. And let me tell you one thing. There's a reason why I've been saying Foden is more of a special player than Saka. There's a reason why I've been saying it. Because Saka gets away with murder so many times. When the team needs him, in big games like yesterday, he goes missing. In big games, he never performs. Foden today comes off the bench, despite being sick, he delivers in the biggest occasion when we needed him. He gets us at 3 points. That's the difference between Saka and Foden. And listen, Saka is an excellent player, but Foden just excel. Today, you could see what he did today. Absolutely impressive performance by Man City. And the rival fans, the Arsenal fans, were so desperate cheering for that equalizer. I know for a fact they were so desperate. And to me, it's been a horrible weekend for them. We're top of the league, 9 points. You can't give City a lead like this. Now we're top of the league, and our performance is absolutely amazing by the team. Brilliant performance by everyone. And to me, now we've got that 2-point lead. We just need to continue game by game. And I think fantastic performance by our team. It's a very difficult game at Sheffield United away, and other teams will see that.
I hear you there. V's with us as well. He's saying that Foden, game changer. Detman showed up Saka today in terms of game-changing play in a difficult situation. Do you agree with that, V?
You know what? Whenever Foden's called upon, he steps up. So, I mean, I'm never nervous if he's subbed on with 5 minutes left in the game, 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. He always delivers and performs to what the manager's asked. We had a chance. We almost got stitched up today because we had Lilo on the sideline, no Pep. Like that was a dangerous game. That was a crucial game to win without Pep on that sideline. Haaland again, man. He may not be a robot, but the man's a cyborg. He's not perfect, but the way he was relentless to get that goal, the way Walker was relentless after his error, that's what we want from our players, man. And we know it's going to be a battle the entire way. Foden had to step up with no KDB and had to chase that equalizer, had to chase that winner. And like Hamza said earlier, man, this is what we need at this point in the season. Second, third gear. I would say we're in first gear the way we're moving. And we had to do it today to get the result and keep this momentum going because it's going to be a tough season to try to four-peat.
Oh, it's certainly going to be a difficult season to do that. How much, in terms of the play, do you think KDB being missing is an issue for you in terms of creating those clear-cut opportunities, which didn't seem to come There was a lot of shots, but there wasn't very many gilt-edged chances, which KDB typically creates for you.
Man, listen, you could tell Pep wasn't on the sideline because I've never seen so many long distance shots from our team before. Like maybe we do one or two, and Pep is berating. He's like, "Don't waste possession. Let's work it in closer." We took so many long shots. I think it's because a big part of that is because of KDB. Because KDB will release some of those passes. He'll run and make himself available so that there's more intricate play between the players. He's missed, but again, every player steps up with his absence. So I'm really happy that we're able to see the other players being challenged for that creativity to slip those passes, whether it's to Haaland or to keep the build-up going. Because when KDB now comes back, we have that added strength amongst the entire squad.
Do you agree with that, Hamza, in terms of what V's saying there?
Yeah, I think Pep not being in the touchline, you can see the players were a bit relaxed today, and they were not finishing the game off, like you could see. But I think the key things for us today, like I think Haaland was holding the ball. Football's the team sport, and I understand that KDB is important. But however, you need every single game, and we've won games without KDB. It's just the beginning of the season. We're often like we grind results out beginning of the season, but come January, February, we know how to win games. I think this is normal for Man City when we see City. City never start explosively. They start beginning like so slowly. But this is typical City at the beginning of the season. But to me, the key thing is when KDB comes back, we need him the most crucial time. And that's January, February, March, April. I don't care about KDB now. We don't need KDB now. We need KDB when we're in the Champions League quarterfinal, in the semi-final. When we need him, I want him to take as much break as he can. So we need to take as maximum points as we can for the next coming game, which is Fulham's the next game, and that's a tough game because Arsenal have seen what Fulham did to them. So that's the next game.
Is it home or away the next game? I assume it's at home.
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought it's crucial to win that last game before the international break. Going away for 2 weeks on a poor draw or a bad defeat is always horrible especially as a fan. You've got to live with it for 2 weeks, and there's no way of putting it right.
Absolutely.
I hate losses going into the national break because it's just a bitter taste in your mouth. There's nothing you can do for it, and even when it comes down to banter amongst fan bases, what do you got to say? We'll wait and see until after the international break. I'm with you, Terry. I don't like losses or draws going into it.
I hear that. What have you boys made of your new signings so far? First of all, Kovacic in the middle. What's been your impression of his performances thus far?
Brilliant. I think he's a brilliant player. It's a brilliant signing. Like there's no to have a Croatian midfielder. They know how to play ball. Rakitic, Kovacic, Modric, Brozovic. They're brilliant. They're ball carrying. And thank you so much. I don't know what Chelsea missed out on this. They wasted his years. You can see he progresses the ball so well. People think that he's just not every player is similar to Gundogan. He's completely different. Today's performance, again, I'll give him a 9 or 8.5 at least out of 10. For 25 million.
Yeah.
For 25 million. That's a steal. You don't get World Cup international players who plays for Croatia for 25 million. I think for me, thank you very, very much, Chelsea fans, for this, because you will miss out. You didn't get the best out of Kovacic. We're gonna get the best out of Kovacic.
And I got no problems with our signings. None at all. The window's not even over yet, and there's whispers that we're still in the business to maybe get one, possibly two. But like Hamza said with Garza Kovacic, amazing signing. He stepped in. Early on, you saw how Pep was kind of guiding him and giving him instructions. He's fit like a glove. And then I think I don't want to say this too early, but what I'm seeing defensively from Gvardiol, there's no worry, there's no stress. When I see that ball going over to his side, I'm like, he's got this locked. And it was impressive today. He doesn't panic. And he's got that deceptive speed because I'm like, oh, he's not going to get to it. And he gets there. He's going to be so good with regards to this Manchester City defensive wall that we're building here. I'm really upset with Walker. I'm upset. X move, please. X move. I'm really upset with Walker because he cost us. He cost us that clean sheet. He cost us. I think
he was excited. He was playing at Sheffield United. That's his home team, and he was so eager to score. He was taking more long range. I've never seen Walker take so many long range shots. And I was thinking, when you back Hugh, What are you doing? You don't do that kind of things in a football game.
Yeah, he made up for it. So I love that
He made up.
He made up for it huge.
Yeah.
Haaland made up for his missed PK. Those outside range shots that Roger took, he made up coming clutch. Like, I love the performance today, man.
No, listen, I think Gvardiol and Kovacic made great starts. I'm very intrigued. I wouldn't use the word excited, but I'm very intrigued to see Jeremy Doku. There's a serious talent in there. And I thought he may have come on today, but he's going to unlock and hurt a lot of left backs this season as well. And he's very different. That mix you had last year or the last couple of years, Bernardo Silva and Mara is different. So it gives you a different way of playing on that right-hand side. You're now going to have that with Doku and with him as well. And you may be having Mateus Nunes to it as well. Chelsea fan here, Z, has said, if you can use him, talking about Kovacic, good for you. Glad to miss out, is what Z says here. This here says, smash and grab today. Foden never plays. Would you define today as a smash and grab?
That's not smash and grab. That's not.
Shots.
That's how. That's not smash and grab. Smash and grab is when you're being caught out, and you can see the way we played. We had them on lock. We had them on ropes in their home stadium. The first time that their fans got excited is when they did like 6-7 passes. That was the best they could do. Other than that, they were hoofing the ball, and they couldn't get the ball. Every time we get the ball, we pinned them back. That's not smash and grab. That's outclassing, outplaying. That's brilliant performance, and we should be congratulating performance like that. That's why you're a champion. That's why when I used to see United 99, they never used to give up. This Alex Ferguson never give up. This is exactly what we've got. We've got that same mentality. We don't give up until the last minute, until the whistle. That's not smash and grab.
Do you know what this game reminded me of, actually, when you mentioned Man United? Now, I'm not too sure what season this was in. It might have been 08, 09, somewhere around then. It might have actually been 09. I want to say the game was 2-1. It was 2-1 to Man United, away from home against Wigan. Wigan took the lead. So slightly different to your game. I think Tevez got a goal back, and then Michael Carrick, ball came across him. He hits it with his left foot, and it goes into the opposite top corner, just like Rodri's. And it was like almost identical. And it reminded me a little bit of that game where it was mad that we weren't winning with that last kick of the ball. We had smashed them apart. We just couldn't score the goals, and they nicked one back or whatever else it was. I think they might have gone 1-0 up. Maybe, if my memory, you are talking nearly 15 years ago now. Yeah. But it reminded me of that game. It was very, very similar. So, yeah, I wouldn't call it a smash and grab in any capacity at all. But listen, that's why, Rodri is top class, one of the best DMs, just like my DM. Also comes up with really important goals for your team as well. And I think you need that these days. Now, look, Rodri's better than him now. Maybe not in his pomp, but he is right now. There's no doubt about it. But it's nice when you've got some clutch players all over the pitch as well. But there we go. Boys, quick question before the other game starts. Which rival so far do you think is going to challenge you the most this year? Which one are you most worried about based on what you've seen so far? I know you're not worried per se, but which one have you gone, ooh, they could be a problem?
I've seen way too many changes with Arteta to start feeling like it's a problem right now. But I think because of the quality of last season, I have to respect them, because he should be able to revert to that style of play and still get the results. But he's tinkering right now, so it's not the worry. Everyone else, they got to show and prove. Everyone else has got to show and prove. And at this point of the season, they have it. Right now, I still have to give it to Arsenal. That spending intent they did in the transfer window, the style of play that I know that they can get to, I think it's them.
Same as me. I think it's Arsenal.
Yeah.
They're going to be our challenges. As well as, don't sleep on Newcastle. I've been saying Newcastle. Don't sleep on Newcastle. They're a very, very dangerous team.
Well, that's why, we're going to be going live, remember, ladies and gentlemen, after Newcastle, Liverpool, so tune in. I think it's going to be a real big acid test for both teams today. It really is. Disappointed in Haaland and Grealish against 20th. Look, again, though, this is the thing. I actually thought Grealish was really good today. I thought Haaland wasn't bad today. And he got his goal. Like, at the end of the day, you can't be expecting to score 3 or 4 goals every game. That's an unrealistic expectation, even for Haaland. But look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in, all my super chatters, everyone who's hit the like button so far. Thank you. If you haven't done that yet, do it. We're back live in about an hour and a half after the Newcastle-Liverpool game, so make sure you're tuning in. We want rivals here as well for these match reactions. But until next time, everybody, Hamza, V, always a pleasure to speak to you, my boys, and we'll chat again soon. Take care.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Derek.
God bless. See you all again
Thank
soon.
you.